Alright, for today's lesson we're going to learn what prime and composite numbers are and how they're different from each other. So what we're going to need to do is classify these numbers. We're going to put them into groups, either as prime numbers or whole numbers. So it's important to know where they live or what set of numbers they belong to. Well, prime and composite numbers live in the set of whole numbers. And you can see the set of whole numbers is 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So whole numbers, we don't have any decimals to worry about, no fractions, and no negatives. So that's a bonus. You can see that 0 and 1 are part of the whole numbers. However, 0 and 1 are special cases, and we don't classify 0 or 1 as prime or composite, just all of the other numbers. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at the numbers 20 and 17 for our first example. And what I want to do is think of ways that I can multiply using just whole numbers to make a 20 and to make a 17. So I've already done this, and I found that to make a 20, I can do 20 times 1, 10 times 2, or 4 times 5. Notice that I'm just using whole numbers there. There's no fractions or decimals. To make a 17, there's only one way to do it using whole numbers. It's 17 times 1. Well, this is the big difference between prime and composite numbers. This is important to note. Because 20 has more than 2 factors, we say that it's a composite number. It's composed of more than 2 factors. You can all understand this. However, 17, well, it only has 2 factors, exactly 2 factors. And the factors have to include 1 and the number itself. The only way to make a 17 is 17 times 1. Okay, that makes it a special number. We say that it's a prime number. Composite numbers have more than 2 whole number factors. That's the difference between prime and composite numbers. Okay, so we're going to look at some examples here, and we're going to classify these as prime or composite numbers. Our first example is 32. Now, 32 is an even number, and that's something that we'll have to talk about in a second here. But as I scroll down, we're going to see that 32 has multiple factors. Okay, we can do 32 times 1, 16 times 2, and 8 times 4. So you can see there's definitely more than 2 factors here. Therefore, 32 is a composite number. It's composed of many different factors. Okay, let's look at our next example. 47. So I'm thinking of whole number ways to multiply to get a 47. And guess what? There's only one way to do it. It's 47 times 1. Because there's exactly 2 factors, 1 and itself, 47, we say that 47 is a prime number. That's the difference between prime and composite numbers. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors, and composite numbers have more than 2 factors. And then let's look at a third example here, the number 2. The only way to make a 2 using whole numbers is 2 times 1. That makes 2 a prime number. In fact, 2 is the very first prime number because remember, 0 and 1, they're special cases, and we don't say that 0 or 1 is prime or composite because they're very special numbers in mathematics. So I'm going to leave you guys with the following screen here. These are the first prime numbers in our number system. Now there's many more prime numbers, but you would be wise to memorize these prime numbers because as we start doing the greatest common factor or least common multiple or anything with fractions, it's going to be important to know these prime numbers. So go ahead and take some time to memorize these prime numbers, and your life will become easier. Thanks for watching.